Good evening and welcome to the Public Global. Today we'll be discussing Trump's inaugural ceremony and his 47th presidency. What is in for India and how the global, relations between U.S., Israel, Iran, China, Saudi Arabia, and European Union are panning out. We will first try to tell you the highlights of today. What basically is the news as of Thursday? That was yesterday. A federal judge on Thursday temporarily blocked President Donald Trump's executive order to end automatic citizenship to babies born on American soil, dealing with the president his first setback as he attempts to basically amend the U.S. immigration laws. In a hearing held 3 days after Trump's swearing in, he issued his executive orders, which says that Federal District Court Judge John C. Cognar sided with the four states that sued. This is a blatantly unconstitutional order. I have difficulty understanding how a member of the bar would state unequivocally that this is a constitutional order. I quote as judge saying, he told Trump administrative lawyers, Trump's order declared that children born in the U.S. to undocumented immigrants would no longer be treated as citizens. The order also extended to babies of mothers who were in country legally but temporarily, such as tourists, university students, or temporary workers. So this is 22 states, along with the civil rights activists. Expectant mothers had filed 6 suits to halt the order and arguing that it violates the 14th Amendment enshrined in the Constitution, which gives birthright citizenship to every child born on American soil. However, legal precedent has interpreted it as amendment all persons born or naturalized in the US and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the US applied to every baby born in the US with few exceptions. So this is what the 14th Amendment says. And on at the behest, when 22 states had objected to this new executive order of the President Donald Trump, the federal judge has stated that birthright jurisdiction for now. However, we'll have to see what Trump comes out in the reply of what the judge has said. So that's one thing. Second, most important aspect is that that every president that is sworn in as the president of the United States of America, he has to make a foreign trip. So previously, Joe Biden had visited the UK. Barack Obama had followed the same tradition. Donald Trump, however, in his first presidency in 2018, had visited Saudi Arabia and he had striked a deal of selling weapons and US products worth $450 billion to Saudi Arabia. Now, the MBS, the king of Saudi Arabia, who's managing the show there, had already shown keen interest in Trump's business. Trump is also planning to start his second Trump tower in Riyadh. And his first Trump tower in Saudi Arabia was constructed and executed in his first presidency. So his closeness to Saudi Arabia is well known. We'll have to see that what Saudi Arabia does this time. However, in a news as of yesterday, Saudi Arabia has pledged $600 billion worth of investments. If we compare it to the economy of Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia's total economy is about $1.1 trillion, out of which 54% of its GDP it is committed to purchase American goods, products, and defense equipment over a period of next 4 years during Trump's presidency. So it can be assumed that even this in this tenure of President Trump, when he's swearing in, he might be going to Saudi Arabia on his first foreign visit. So, as I said last time, Biden had stopped weapons sales to Saudi Arabia, but then Saudi Arabia is also responsible for selling Brent crude to various countries. So, when there was an oil crisis, Biden had reversed his strategy of not selling weapons to Saudi Arabia, and it had opened arms sales to Saudi Arabia, and the Brent crude supply had was reinstated from Saudi Arabia into US. Now, you've seen that we have seen Israel attacking Hamas and Hezbollah, basically killing their top commanders and then had a treaty with Hezbollah that they will not bother when Bashar al-Assad's regime will be taken over by al-Julani. And on the second side, Hamas was also targeted. You saw what happened in Gaza. 85,000 tons of explosives were, unleashed on the Gaza border, and approximately about 57,000 people, including 18,000 children and women, were killed. And all this was done so that the Qatari Saudi Arabia pipeline, which can go from Syria over Turkey into the Eastern European or the Western European countries. So basically, the over dependency of Western Europe, especially Germany, Hungary, Italy, France, over gas supplies from Russia, because Russia had threatened Austria that they would be stopping the gas supply and the crude supply to the Western European countries. So probably uh, Saudi Arabia and Qatar asked Israel to clear the areas for Syria so that they can through Syria. Qatar pipeline can go into Turkey and to the Western Europe, and everybody says that the ceasefire for the war, which was started in October 2023, was basically done because the Bashar al-Assad Sarkar or the government came down. Al-Julani took over, and Al-Julani has been a IS operative, and before that he was sworn in by Al Qaeda, Al Zawahiri, and it is believed that both ISIS and Al Qaeda have been supported by the American forces or the American politicians. And it is also been said that Hamas was in Gaza, the Hamas, which basically fights along with Israel, was also funded to the tune of $30 billion to maintain its army or explosives, so that they can also be there to fight. So all sorts of things are being said. Uh, there was a tweet. I will tell you. I'll quote you that tweet in 2018. That tweet, what it said, was something similar to what I'm saying. I will probably quote the tweet so that you can, understand it better. It says that in 2018, the Trump administration, in his first when in his first swearing in, the Trump administration assured Qatar that if the Emirates consented to an Israeli request to secretly fund Hamas with as much as 30 million per month, $30 million per month, the Treasury would not label the arrangement as funding a terror organization. So, Emirates had consented to the Israeli request to secretly fund Hamas with as much as $30 million per month. The Treasury would not label the arrangement as funding a terror organization. The assurance was authorized by former Treasury Secretary Steve uh, Nunchin and has been kept secret until now. It's also being said and claimed that Israel's secret funding of Hamas has been publicly known, but it is the first time former Trump administrators' involvement has been revealed. So this former Treasury Secretary's statement is from the Trump administration one. And we will come over to Saudi Arabia in a little bit, where I'll make you understand what is the basically geopolitics between Saudi Arabia and Trump, besides Trump's investment into Saudi Arabia and Riyadh. In lieu of buying weapons from America, now they've pledged about $600 billion worth of weapon purchase from uh, US, and to take stock of the US economy, because such a big deal. In his first sign as a president of United States, Donald Trump has basically clearly earmarked that I have a give and take economy. I'm not under any obligation to fund WHO. I'm under no obligation to be under Paris climate. I will be drilling and I will be excavating oil, minerals. I want to take over Greenland. However, the Irish foreign minister has come on record and said that Greenland has been part of the Ireland for last 800 years. In no way Greenland can go to US. But US has also said that the Gulf of Mexico will be now Gulf of America, and we will also take over the Panama Canal, which we had given to the country to manage. But since our ships are being charged to go through that route, we will be taking over the Panama Canal, and we will not allow Chinese ships to go through that. So these kind of embargoes, restrictions, tariffs that the Trump government is trying to enforce in order to make America great again is basically trying to create a little chaos, because Donald Trump has also mentioned that all NATO countries should spend at least 5% of their budget, of the GDP, 5% of the GDP, into defense budgets to buy defense equipments and arms from America. Because America basically has the largest export of arms and ammunitions, whether they are missiles, guns. So America wants to sell them to the European countries or the NATO countries also. So there is a little shift between America's previous foreign policy and how it deals with European Union, how it deals with the Arab world, and how it wants to take control of a situation in Iran and this new world order in the Arab world, where first they went for Iraq, and then they went for Yemen and Syria, and now they have gone for now they are planning to put a large amount of embargoes on Iran, so that they want to corner Iran. And the Netanyahu government of from Israel wants to make a greater Israel. That's their plan. And the greater Israel will have Syria, will have Yemen, will have Lebanon, and will go onto the borders of Iran and maybe take over Iran as well. So this is what they are planning. Trump had also brokered the Iran-Israel Abraham Accord in his first term, which was quite a milestone during Trump's first administration, which was from 2017 to 2021. In return, Saudi Arabia had also funded $2 billion to the Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who was bailed out by the Saudi Arabian government under MBS because they had invested $2 billion in his business. As I said, Trump Tower is also the second Trump Towers has been launched in Riyadh as soon as the President Trump has been sworn in. In 2018, MBS had visited US, and he had finalized military sales from US, as I said. And MBS, basically what Saudi Arabia wants is Saudi Arabia wants to end war in Gaza. So the war in Gaza is already ended. The moment Biden administration, resigned on 10th of January, you heard between 11th and 15th, the peace accord was signed, and there was total peace in Gaza. So it so appears that the Gaza war was, initiated to basically the target was Bashar al-Assad. And since he came down, and now the new oil pipeline through Turkey, from Syria through Turkey, will go into Western Europe. So possibly the job is well done. Also, uh, Saudi Arabia wants security guarantee from US. And since Saudi Arabia is the biggest buyer of defense equipments, helicopters, long range, short range missiles, so it won't be much of a problem where security arrangements for Saudi Arabia uh, can be obtained. The third thing that they want is that they want a Palestine deal. Now, here is the catch, because Netanyahu is not willing to give a Palestine state. He says that it's Gaza is occupied by terrorist organizations, by Hamas, and it's part of the Israel. It's part of the Israel dominance. So since we have an embassy there, so we will take over. So, but then Saudi Arabia, contradiction with Netanyahu's Israel is basically they want to recognize Gaza as a Palestinian state. In this, if you see the Chinese company TikTok, as soon as Trump administration was initiated, and when he took over, the TikTok company ban was removed. And it is also being said that Al Wali bin Talal, who is MBS relative and cousin, wants to basically invest. He's already invested with X, which is Elon Musk's company. So Elon Musk's interest is in TikTok, and that is why, because he's in charge of the DOGE, which is that Department of Government Efficiency. And as part and parcel of Make America Great Again, TikTok would be taken over through the Saudi Arabia. He wants to put in his equity. So Al Wali bin Talal, he wants to make sure that Elon Musk also invests in that company. So he wants to be a co-investor, and they want to take over TikTok. So all things are happening. If you remember, Jamal Khashoggi was killed in a Saudi Arabian embassy in Turkey, and this was done at the behest of MBS, and it was very, very well covered up with the assistance of US, and nobody was implicated, and no criminal a complaint was filed even in International Court of Justice. So was to say that Saudi Arabia has very good offices with the uh, United States America White House, and probably they'll be using these offices for initiating a lot of businesses which is going to come. US also wants Saudi Arabia to recognize Israel in return, while Netanyahu wants to target Iran. How will this pan out? Because Saudi Arabia is also friends with Iran. White House have attacked Saudi oil fields. Houthis, sorry, have attacked oil fields of Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is uh, is aware of the facts that if it allows Israel to target Iran, then Houthis who are in Yemen may target Saudi Arabia. In the past, Saudi Arabia oil fields have been attacked by the Houthis. So Iran-Saudi ties are very strong. MBS would want not to jeopardize his relations with Iran, and that's where the catch is. So the Palestine state is one bone of contention between Israel and Saudi Arabia. The second bone of contention is that Netanyahu wants to attack Iran. But in the meantime, Netanyahu basically is going to negotiate and secure a lot of multi sanctions on Iran as well, so it seems. As far as the Modi Trump bilateral ties are concerned, it is being said that soon a meeting is going to be arranged next month. So a bilateral meeting where an Indian contingent is either traveling to US, or the US authorities will come to India and meet with the Indian authorities. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, had put in a condition when he met S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, that illegal migration should be stopped. We are not in favor of people coming into the country illegally. And External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has approved of it. He said, yes, we are also aware of the fact that illegal immigration through donkey route and other routes through Mexican border is happening. On his last, in his last tenure between 2017 to 2021, Trump had made sure that he wanted to fence and build a wall on the Mexico border south of US. This time, he's put in his military in action. So as soon as he signed as president of the United States of America, he brought in National Emergency Act, in which military was asked to be deployed at the Mexico borders to stop any kind of infiltration into the USA. However, while Trump is mobilizing troops on the southern borders of USA, it is being said that out of 500,000 illegal immigrants entering US, approximately about 6.6% share is of Indian origin, you can say, immigrants. So in 2022, out of 500,000, 6.6% were Indians. So that's not much of a figure. But then, whatever number they have arrived at, as Shankar has said, we have no problem taking them back. And this is how it will be. 18,000 Indians would also be removed and sent back to India. And as Shankar has said, we have no problem with that. Uh, between the trade ties between US and India is that Modi is also mulling lower tariff so that he can allow more imports of US goods into India. And that's what Donald Trump is expecting him to do. This could include lower tariffs for steel, oil from the US, because oil consumption, the crude oil consumption, the total import of crude oil into India from various countries, Russia, during the Russia-Ukraine war, because it was supplying crude at $60 cap a barrel. So 40% of our oil was coming from Russia. From it started at 31% after COVID, and into 2022, when the Russia-Ukraine war was initiated, it went up to 40% until now, 39 to 40% until now. US import of oil into India is about 3%. So S. Shankar probably will sign a deal with the US oil companies to get more US oil into India. So that's going to happen. However, Trump administration wants India to reduce duties on goods imported from US states, which is going to be politically important for the bilateral ties to be strengthened. And the Republican parties, who have control over both the chambers now of the parliament, whether it's the Senate or the parliament, and the president elect Donald Trump is in charge of the White House. So it seems that Republicans will negotiate very hard with the Indians to make sure that even last time around, if you remember the Harley Davidson motorbikes. The administration wanted the U.S. administration wanted India to reduce duties, but India was not willing. Well, this time around, India has less chips of bargain, and probably US will have its way. Uh, what kind of products they look for? They look for pecan nuts, bourbon whiskey, soya bean, dairy, uh, auto components, cars, medical instruments, and probably light weight aircrafts. Another deal, HAL had signed with GE for manufacturing F404 light aircrafts engines. GE is pulled out of the deal because GE was expecting the Indian company to at least give a guarantee of $5 million. So a lot of things are happening. India could also negotiate more visas for students, for workers, for travel, and probably they will be looking to looking at to reduce tariffs for market access. How much will the U.S. government oblige to the Indian authorities to reduce tariff for their market access is yet to be seen. However, as far as China is concerned, China is closely watching what's happening, and it's basically concentrating on its trade ties with Argentina, with Saudi Arabia, with South Africa, with South American countries like Colombia, El Salvador, Argentina, and even African countries. It's quietly building a railway network so that a lot of agricultural produce from Africa could be bought into China, and China could also sell its manufactured item into South African markets. So all this is happening while Israel is going to be the topmost priority. Netanyahu is going to be the topmost priority for Trump. However, Secretary Mark Rubio have call into the Netanyahu and pledged to work tirelessly to help free all remaining hostages which are still in Palestine. While the gaze is also on the address. Basically, he's saying Mark Rubio is saying that we will also address the threats which is both being posed by Iran, because under BRICS, China and Russia want to help Iran. Netanyahu wants to, basically keep Iran at bay, and he might be able to, bargain for more sanctions on Iran and make Iran's, exports and their economy difficult to manage. I hope you like the program for today. We try and bring into you news that matters, and we wish that you write in the comment box what more information would you like to have, and we will try and bring in those information. Until next Tuesday, goodbye for now. I'm signing off. Thank you very much. Goodbye.